Welcome back to the 6.8 liter garage. I've been wondering when you guys are going to come back. I mean, I've been out here working the whole time and you guys are no shows. No, I haven't been out here at all, and that's why you guys haven't been here. But today we're doing something, a little bit of holiday warning. Here's your warning. I know it's not even Halloween yet, and I'm doing a Christmas thing. Not really doing it for the Christmas thing. Laptop guy sat down and drew some ornaments, so I thought, well, those would be good to cut. And I have this really thin 26 gauge sheet metal. Yes, it's galvanized, and I know that's a bad idea, so don't do that. But this is was bought at Lowe's because it's still got a barcode on it. I scanned it, and it's 26 bucks for this 24 by 24 sheet of 26 gauge sheet metal. And I paid $1 for it at a yard sale. It might have been an estate sale. They were clearing everything out. And so the other thing, I had to buy some nozzles for the ArcDroid, or for my plasma cutter to use with ArcDroid. And while I was there, I noticed they have, I've been buying 0.8 millimeter, 0.9 millimeter, and 1 millimeter nozzles. But they had some 0.65 millimeter nozzles, and those are good for, they call them 20 amp nozzles. So I was looking, what can I cut with 20 amp? 26 gauge can be cut with 20 amp. So I'm just curious how fine of a cut I can do. So some of the ornaments have some pretty fine lines and should go pretty fast. So why don't you go in with laptop guy and have him show you one of the ornaments that we're going to cut. He can show you all of them, but he can demo one of them, and then come back out here and we'll do some cutting and see how it comes out. Never used that size nozzle before. I have cut some thin metal before. Didn't get great results, but we're talking about a Christmas ornament, so as long as it holds its shape, it's fine. It's not structural. It doesn't, you know, we really don't want it to be heavy. It's just going to hang on a Christmas tree. So we'll cut them out, and if they hold their shape and look all right, probably shine them up, and, you know, like Burl Ives said, silver and gold, right? If I hit these with a sanding disc, I'm sure they'll be shiny silver, and put some lacquer on them and we'll be set. But go check out Laptop Guy, see what he's doing, and we'll come back out and cut. Laptop Guy here, and I've been doodling around making some Christmas, or I got some ideas for some Christmas ornaments, so I thought I'd share. This one's going to be like kind of like the spinner project I've had in the past, so it'll be kind of 3D. There are some just things that popped in my mind. This one's not exactly Christmas, but I'm sure you'll recognize it. But this is the one I want to talk about. I think I'm going to show you how I did this one. You can see I bridged all the letters, but I probably won't do all the letters in the demo. Let me show you how I made that one. There's a couple of specific... I already have Inkscape open. A couple of specific tricks that I did on that, and that's really the reason I did the ornament at all, was to mess with those tricks. So shout out to Bad Dog Metalworks, because I learned these tricks from his video. So, or his videos, multiple videos. Okay, so I'm going to do Merry Christmas again. And change my tool. Let's align these guys. And align the left side. And I'm going to move Christmas up. Say like that. Okay, so as I said, we're gonna cut these out. All the letters are gonna cut out, so we need to bridge anything with an interior piece like the R's and A. And I've done bridging videos before, so this is nothing new. But I will do one letter just to show. So first step, I'll do that on all these. Take both of these and do object to path. So now there are two paths, and then I'm gonna take this path and split it apart. So. Whoops. Path. Break apart. So you can see now each letter has its own path. But the ones that have an interior cutout like the A and the R's are actually two paths. So I'm going to select the A and do path, combine. So now it's back to one path. And you would want to do that with the R's as well. So, well, that one I didn't split. So the R's split up. I'm going to put that back to combine. So how do I bridge those? This is what I like to do. There's other ways. You could create a rectangle and drop it across, say, this line. But what I'm going to do is take this path and insert a node here, another node here, and I'm going to highlight these two nodes and go up here and say delete segment between. Highlight these two nodes, delete segment between. Then I'm going to highlight these two nodes and say insert segment between. And same thing here, highlight those two nodes, insert segment between, and voila, it's bridged. We can get rid of that node and straighten this up a bit. So there, that's how you bridge a letter. Okay, so let's zoom back out. And now I'm gonna combine these back into a single path. Like I said, you would want to bridge the R's. If I was going to do the R's, I would do the same kind of thing I did with the A. Say I would do it right here on this R. And once I got it bridged, I'd probably delete each one of these R's and then duplicate this and paste it, so you don't have to manually bridge each one. But anyway, so we're going to take all this, path, combine. So now I have a single path. So the next step is how I get the metal around this cutout. So the cool tool we are going to use is linked offset. So you click linked offset and it leaves you with this node right here. You drag that up. And I'm going to drag it till I see the least amount of defects. What's happening is it's trying to expand a path around each one of these paths, these things, and they overlap and they leave a few little artifacts. So I'm going to do that until I think it's about as clean as it's going to get. Something like that. And so what that leaves us with is this outer metal or outer path is a separate path from the Merry Christmas path that sits on top of it. So I'm going to highlight both paths and do path difference. So what that does is basically cuts the Merry Christmas out of the surrounding path and combines it all into a single path. So now I've got one path. But what we need to do now is zip through here and find all these little artifacts that we don't really want. So here's a few nodes just hanging out here that we don't need. So I'll get rid of those. You can see the bridged A there. There's some more artifacts that we don't want to cut out. Alright, I think we're looking pretty good. So that's that. Oh, the C's looking kind of ugly. Delete that one. Alright, so that looks like Merry Christmas. So the next, so there we go, we could cut that. But the thing is where do I hang it from? I don't really want to like hang it through the letter. It needs a loop, a hole, something to hang it on, right? But then where do I put it? Because I want to make it hang straight. Well, there's a cool tool for that. So let's highlight that. I'm going to use this selection tool. And then we can go extensions, visualize path, measure path. And make sure you set this to center of mass. It can measure area, length, and center of mass. And apply. So what it's done is figure out exactly the center of mass for our drawing, which is great, but I don't really need center of mass. I mean, I guess if you poked a hole right here, you could spin that, it would spin until it stopped. It would spin evenly because it's the center. I don't know why it does it, but the center of mass tool is always huge line, 1/2 inch. Let's make it much smaller. And then that tells us that if I had a loop right here, Merry Christmas should hang straight. So let's do that. I'll take a circle, make it, I don't know, 1/4 of an inch. And then stick it right here so that it's on our center of mass line. I'm going to delete this because it's cluttering things. So then if we highlight these two and say path union, boom. Now all I got to do is poke a hole in that. And what size hole? Let's do 1/8 of an inch. 125. So if I take this guy, stick it right here. I could measure it, but I think I can eyeball that well enough. And then highlight them both again and do path difference. There we go. So we have Merry Christmas, a Merry Christmas ornament that will hang straight. So that's the center mass tool and the, what's that other one called? Linked offset that created the outline. So there we go. Let's go back out to the garage and cut some stuff out. Okay, so if Laptop Guy's done showing us some of his favorite new tricks, I've got this ready to go. So I'll bring the camera over here and show you, but we got our 0.65 millimeter tip, got the air set for 55, the feed rate or inches per minute 200, it's really thin metal, and 20 amps. So that's what we're going to do. This stuff's so thin that it easily presses when the nozzle, when it puts the nozzle down to find the depth, the metal, it really flexes. So I've got some magnets holding it down to the cut bars, and we'll see how it works. Okay, so it cuts the 26 gauge okay. The first one cut okay. I'll clean it up and see what it looks like, but this is really flimsy. 26 gauge is really flimsy. I mean, it would still work on a Christmas tree. I probably wouldn't use this thin of metal even for a Christmas ornament. I mean, I'll bend it up and we'll see, clean it up and see. I had one cut here on the side of the O for the Noel right there that didn't cut completely, so I'll have to cut that manually. So what I'm gonna do, so I can stop holding my breath and I can turn off the fan because I don't need a fan, I'm gonna stop using this galvanized because that's some stinky stuff. But I don't have anything that's 26 gauge, so one, I don't have any other 26 gauge, and two, I think 26 gauge is too thin. What I want to try is this smaller 0.65 millimeter tip with some 20 gauge, which is not terribly heavy, it's heavier. And I mean, he's selling the PlasmaDyne is selling, I'll put a link up for PlasmaDyne. Here's their card. The PlasmaDyne sells the 0.65 millimeters as 20 amp tips, and 20 gauge is going to be higher than 20 amps, so it's a little bit of an experiment, but I still want to try it to see what happens, to see if I can get a more detailed cut on some of this thinner metal. So I'll throw this together and we'll try a cut. Okay, so here we go with some 20 gauge. I'm doing 150 inches per minute, 26 amps on the plasma cutter, and 55 psi. And let's see what happens. And no more galvanized smoke. Okay, so that's how the 4 different designs came out. I'm not in love with the Noel or the star one. Star one looks a little, it's the wrong number of points, but it looks a little Texas-y. I do like the Christmas one and the Deathly Hallows one, even though it's not technically Christmas. But I have a Harry Potter nut for a daughter, so I'll probably make another one of those so she can have it. And I'll get these cleaned up and put some lacquer on them. Let's see what they look like shiny. Alright, that's pretty much all I got for today. Don't hang up yet. I got them all painted with some lacquer. Got the Deathly Hallows. Got 2 of them. And I got the 2 Merry Christmas ones. I didn't like the way these came out. I don't like the scale of this one. It's just kind of big. There's a bad cut there, but that's not the reason why I didn't finish it. I don't like the material, and I don't like the scale of this one. And this one does, it may be a 6-pointed star, but it makes me think of a Texas ornament. So got no problem with Texas, but I don't live in Texas, so not a lot of Texas stars. So anyway, the scale of this one's a little off too, so I didn't cut that out of the 20 gauge. And the 20 gauge only had so much of the material. It was a scrap that when I bought metal recently, I asked him, what do you get for these scraps? And he's like, oh, just take a couple. So I took a couple. And just to prove that laptop guy wasn't lying with his center of mass tool, I got a thumbtack here, and I'm hanging the ornament from the thumbtack. Hopefully you can see that it hangs straight. So that's a good tip, good tool to use. Anyway, thanks for watching, and if you want to support the channel, there's merch at the store, hats, cups, stickers, whatever. droid I was looking for shirt. These drawings, I didn't put these up there. If anybody's got interest in them, leave a comment. Maybe I'll add those to the store. Nobody's buying anything off the store, so I kind of let it go. It still works. It's there. It's just not getting a lot of traffic. So anyway, like, share, subscribe as always, and I'll keep trying to make these. Thank you.